You didn't lose her when she walked away. You lost her the moment you started chasing. The moment you gave up your identity and made her your God, your mission, your reason to breathe. Let this sink in. The man who bows for her approval will never earn her respect. She might smile, whisper sweet nothings, but if your neediness outweighs your presence, she's already gone. She doesn't see a man. She sees a boy, desperate to be told who he is. This video isn't for men seeking approval. It's for those who are done shrinking, done apologizing for their standards, done believing that being soft will make her stay. It won't. If you want to be felt, truly felt, become the man who doesn't need her to feel complete. Watch closely, and if you're ready to reclaim your power, subscribe to Stoic 95 and hit the bell icon so you never miss a drop of hard-earned truth. Number 1. Stop orbiting her approval. You lose your power the moment you place it in her hands. Not because she asked for it, but because you offered it, quietly, consistently, and often unconsciously. You thought being available was strength. That constant validation would create closeness. But in truth, it only eroded the weight of your presence. She doesn't respect the man who responds instantly, who waits on her moods like weather. She respects the man who is rooted, who doesn't flinch when she pulls away. You gave her the center of your life, then wondered why she no longer saw you as the center of hers. That's not her fault. It's the structure you created. Most men don't see this happening. They confuse attention with connection. They confuse submission with love. They think if they just try harder, she'll finally see their worth. But worth isn't something she finds. It's something you embody. You become magnetic the moment you stop orbiting. The moment you pull your energy back into your own mission, your own path, your own silence. Not to punish her, not to play games, but because that's where your edge is. That's where your respect lives. Stoicism doesn't tell you to suppress your emotions, it tells you to govern them. To be the still mountain when everything else moves. And in relationships, that stillness is your greatest strength. So stop chasing her reaction. Let her wonder. Let her feel the absence of a man who finally came back home to himself. Number 2. Build the gravity she can feel without words. Most men don't notice when the shift begins. They ignore the subtle withdrawal, the slower replies, the way her gaze doesn't quite linger like it used to. Not because they're blind, but because they're in denial. Love makes you hope, and hope, when unguarded, becomes a leash. You start chasing, texting more, explaining yourself, overcompensating. But the harder you pull, the faster she drifts. That's because attraction isn't built through pursuit. It's built through presence. The kind of presence that doesn't demand, doesn't plead, doesn't chase, but simply exists with quiet force. You want her to feel your gravity? Then become the man who's too grounded to beg and too focused to break. A man who bleeds silently if he must, but never bleeds out in front of her. You don't win her respect by losing your own. You don't reclaim her interest by proving your pain. What draws her back, if she ever comes back, is the realization that you kept moving, that you didn't collapse, that your world still spun without her orbiting it. That's the gravity she feels. Not noise, not neediness, but your stillness, your certainty, your silence. And whether she returns or not is irrelevant, because a stoic man doesn't build his life as bait. He builds it as truth. And truth doesn't chase, it attracts. Number 3, master your reactions. The real battle isn't between you and her. It's the struggle within yourself. It's your craving for her to behave the way you want, to fill the space in your heart the way you expect. When she pulls away, or grows cold, and your mood swings like a storm, that's not love speaking. It's dependency, a desperate need that eats away desire and respect. She's not trying to break you or be difficult. She's testing whether you are steady, whether you can stand firm when the winds blow hard. Most men fail this test because they react too quickly, panic, argue, plead, or chase. But the Stoic man knows better. He understands that power lies not in winning battles of words or emotion, but in mastering himself. So you pause, you breathe, you watch without judgment. Your strength isn't in control, but in consistency, showing up the same, calm and grounded, no matter what chaos tries to shake you. She isn't drawn to your grand gestures or flowery words. She's drawn to your presence, the quiet force of a man who does not crumble under pressure. This is the truth most men deny because it's hard to accept that love doesn't mean losing yourself. True mastery means choosing silence over desperation, control over chaos, and self-respect over dependency. When you hold your ground, unshaken and calm, you don't just survive the storm, you become the calm in it. That is real power. Number 4, reclaim the energy you outsourced. Every time you forced a laugh just to keep the peace, you quietly surrendered a piece of yourself. Every "I'm sorry" you offered when you didn't mean it chipped away at your own truth. And all those hours spent explaining your intentions to someone who had already decided to misunderstand you. Think about what you gave away in those moments. Your time, your focus, your energy. Now, it's time to reclaim it. Not with anger or resentment, but with calm clarity. Redirect that energy back to the body you let weaken, to the mind you dulled with distractions, to the mission you sidelined while orbiting her shifting moods. She was never your foundation. Your true home lies within your purpose. When you begin to value your path more than her reactions, you don't lose your heart, you restore it. You become whole. A whole man does not beg for peace from others. He carries it within himself. He cannot be swayed by endless tests or tossed around by manipulation. Most men resist this shift out of denial or misplaced love, clinging to the illusion that their worth depends on her validation. But the Stoic knows better. Control what is yours, your mind, your actions, your serenity, and accept what lies beyond. True strength is found in silent self-respect, where peace is not sought, in fleeting approval but lived in steady presence. Conclusion: power isn't something that shouts or demands attention. It's quiet, steady, and unshakable. You don't owe anyone an explanation, especially not to the woman who only sees what she wants to see. Waiting for closure is a trap, a form of subtle self-betrayal that keeps you stuck in a story where you're always chasing, always performing for a love that feels conditional. Most men get lost here, caught in denial or blinded by affection, forgetting that their true strength lies in self-mastery, not in the approval of others. You need to stop trying to convince her, stop justifying your worth, and stop living in the shadow of her attention. Instead, walk with purpose like your life depends on it, because it does, on your terms, not hers. Speak less, act more. Stand firm in who you are, regardless of whether she sees it or not. A man who clings is forgotten. A man who stands unmovable becomes unforgettable. This is not manipulation or trickery, it is nature's design. When you stop needing her, when you detach from outcomes and reclaim your inner fortress, that is when her gaze lingers, her respect grows, and her curiosity awakens. She is drawn to a man whose foundation does not tremble under her absence. She follows not because she must, but because she chooses to. Choose your path wisely. Hold your frame with unwavering calm. Remember, silence is not weakness, it is the final act of strength. As the Stoics teach us, control what is within your power and let the rest fall away. In that silence, you find your true self, and that is a man no one can forget.